Not enough nonsense in your life? Need a little more? Well, get ready, because these two have it in spades. Loose talk.
What are you talking about? Nonsense.
Even looser opinions.
Please explain.
And you're along for the ride.
Everybody strap in!
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
This is The Burble. Welcome along to it. It is a podcast basically where we talk about absolute nonsense that happens in the world. And if it isn't nonsense, well, we're going to play with it and make it nonsense. Hello, Az.
Hello, Benny.
We are back for another episode of The Burble, which you can download on Apple iTunes and subscribe and leave a review there as well. We would absolutely love you to do that, whether it's positive, whether it's negative. Probably after this podcast, Az, I could probably say that there may be a few more negs and pods.
Well, any publicity is good publicity. Look at the Prime Minister.
Yeah, look at the royal family.
Well, yeah.
Wow. On this podcast, before we get to that, we're also available on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. You can listen to us in 15-minute chunks on YouTube for some setting that I can't figure out why I can't be all just in one go. I'll have a chat to the executives at Spreaker about that. Speaking about Spreaker, they have their own app and you can actually get all those podcasts for hours on the Spreaker app.
And more.
And we're on the web as well, where we haven't actually visited the web in a while. We haven't been there, but all of the podcasts are there on the podcast page. You can go all the way back to November of last year, the beginning of our first season. This is season 3, episode 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I plead the fifth. And you can find us there and a whole bunch of other associated podcast providers like Google in the United States, England, and all that kind of stuff. All right, this week, do you know, Az, that I've just come back from the theatre? Today I went to the theatre.
Oh, you got some culture.
I did get some culture. More culture than a tub of yogurt. Went to the theatre and it was for my fiance's birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
Her birthday was back in September, but we
that's
bought...
not so nice.
No. We bought tickets to go to see this show back in September to see it now in November here in Australia.
Okay.
I almost exploded at these people sitting next to me. I'll tell you why that's coming up.
Chip crinklers?
No, they weren't chip crinklers. They were worse. They were worse. Corn Flakes, the staple breakfast of a lot of breakfast tables all around the world, okay?
Yep.
Corn Flakes comes in many different varieties. You've got the Kellogg stuff. Then you've got the home brand, the savings brand, but it's all just called Corn Flakes. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Nutritious.
It's been around so long that the name's not a trademark anymore.
That's exactly right. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell everybody exactly why Corn Flakes were invented.
Breakfast?
Well, yeah.
A short podcast.
No, but this explanation comes from Mr. Kellogg himself way back in the day. Feral pigs have torn through $30,000 worth of cocaine in Italy.
Nice.
This seems to be a running theme.
What, cocaine?
Yeah, the cocaine stuff that we're talking about. A bloke and this is in the UK, so you're safe. So none of the videos that I have of you on a drunken escapade.
Plead the fifth. You
can plead the fifth. No. A bloke over in the UK has been filmed trying to have sex with a pile of leaves. He's been jailed 8 weeks in a pub car park.
Oh, it gets better, doesn't it?
It does. A university professor has written an open letter back to Greta Thunberg. Now, we all know Greta Thunberg is the young 16-year-old activist who basically went up at the UN.
And gave him what for?
Yeah, and said, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
And basically this open letter is from a university professor who basically wants to pull apart everything that's happened since the Greta Thunberg visit. Now, as you've got an issue with a comment that a lady has made a supposed lady about New South Wales firefighters.
I do, and I will rant on about that a bit later in the podcast.
Yep, that is coming up. Melbourne Cup's been and gone, and the TV rights broadcaster changed this year.
Right.
It was 7 for years. 7 had it and did an amazing job. It was the only reason Bruce McAvaney got out of bed in the mornings, because he knew he had 2 jobs this year to do really well. One was the AFL Grand Final, and the other was Melbourne Cup.
Yep.
But it went to Channel 10, and people hated it. They hated it. We'll talk about that. And as last week, we didn't get time to talk about this one, but a landlord's being an absolute twat, okay? And he's basically put this cage around the thermostat at this property that these tenants have. He's not letting them touch it. Not letting them touch it whatsoever.
What a prick.
He is a prick. We're going to talk about that and more on The Burble.
Loose talk, even looser opinions.
This is the best show on earth.
This is The Burble.
I'm going to get this out of the way first and foremost. Alex.
Righto.
I planned the whole birthday present for my fiancée months ago. I said, what would you like to do? Would you rather have me buy you something like a trinket or something like that, which I know that'll just end up on the bedside table or the drawer or something like that. You know, I've given jewelry in the past.
Right.
I've given jewelry, and jewelry's nice. The most important thing, obviously, the two bits of jewelry that you give a girl is going to be the engagement ring and then the wedding ring.
Yeah.
I decided, let's have an experience. Let's both have an experience where we go and we both enjoy it. Now, before you smirking mother start getting onto that, what that experience was, we went to the theatre.
Ooh,
we went to
fancy.
the theatre. Yeah, we went to the theatre. We went to see a musical. We went to see a musical called School of Rock. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber's School of Rock, based off the Jack Black movie from years ago. And now we're both theatre people, and I've listened to the soundtrack. I thought, man, this is great. It won a slew of Tonys.
Right.
It is absolutely awesome. There's amazing sound and rock, and the kids are in it and all that kind of thing. If you know what School of Rock is, then you know this is going to be amazing. Now, you would think for a professional theatre production, they have to consider a number of things. So let's run through those. Firstly, there needs to be the main cast.
Yep.
Then there is the understudy cast.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the swing cast. And then there's the kids. Now, they have I think they have 3 different casts of kids because there are union laws around kids working so many days. If they're under the legal age of work, which I think was 14 to 9 months, which is now 14, isn't it?
I have no idea.
All right.
It's been 14 for a very long time.
I spent a metric ton of money.
Yep.
To go and watch this show. I even made sure that I thought, you know what? I'm going to spend a little bit more coin to sit down the front.
In the splash zone.
No, in the splash zone. I actually have been to that theatre and saw Singing in the Rain, and there was a splash zone. There was actually a splash zone.
It's like those theatres up in the Cross too. They've got a splash zone.
Yeah, but this type of splash zone, it's easier to identify than with a black light.
Right.
Down the nudie booth. Mm-hmm. Down the Cross. Anyway, may I continue? Because you took it dark there. Let me take it darker. So anyway, we get to our seats, and I'm happy where we're sitting. The fiance's happy where we're sitting due to the fact that it's nice and close. We're going to get great sound. This is going to be awesome, okay?
Yep.
People sitting to the left and right of us are chatting, and we're chatting as well. But it's before the show. That's fine. That's what theatre people do, as was the other 1,000-odd people that were in the Capitol Theatre to enjoy this production. As soon, though, as the lights go down and they make the announcement about turn your phone off, no flash photography, no filming, all that kind of stuff, right? Yep. You get it? You're with me? You're there to watch the show. You are there to be entertained. You've put your hard-earned dollars down on the counter and said, I want to be entertained. And there's lots of families and kids there and all that kind of thing. So you would expect there would be some minor chatter and all that kind of thing.
Chip rustling?
These to my right.
Right.
These absolute to the right of me would not shut the up the whole show. Now, I'm conflicted because you know me, if something isn't quite right,
you will speak up.
I will speak. I will speak. But this mother, the father, and the oldest son,
right,
are all sitting there. They filled out the row to the right of me, right?
Yes.
So it was son, father, mother, me, fiance, lovely lady that was nattering to my fiance, and her son.
Righto.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in the row.
Yes.
We're off to the side.
Yep.
We're in row A. So we didn't get row AA or row BB or row CC. We had row A.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So you can see, you can tell I've gone and spent the money to be down the front because I want to be entertained. This is a musical I love. I've been listening to the soundtrack, all that kind of thing.
Come up from the country.
Yep.
3-hour drive.
Came up from the country, 3-hour drive. Show starts. They start. Not the people on stage, not the actors.
The family to the left.
Family to the left.
Or the right.
No, to my right.
To your right, sorry.
To my right.
Oh, the right.
Okay.
Yep.
Now.
They're into it.
Okay. The excitement of being there, all that kind of thing. I kind of worked out early on. That they were the parents and the brother of a young girl who was in the cast. She's in the cast of School of Rock.
Okay.
She's in the cast of School of Rock. And very talented too, because the kids on stage play their own instruments to a point.
Right.
So there was an announcement at the beginning of the musical. Andrew Lloyd Webber, I'm here to say that, yes, the kids play their own instruments. And in one scene, they are playing percussion stuff and a triangle. That's hard to fake, okay? It's a little bit easier to fake a bass guitar,
electric guitar,
all that kind of thing, because I stuck my head over at the end of the show down into the orchestra pit to see a rather sparse orchestra. It's a rock band pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a rock band. But she's got the bass, okay? And she's one of 3 kids playing this role. But they decided to come on the matinee show where I've taken my fiance for her 30th birthday present.
Yes.
And they would not stop talking. So first act happens.
Right. So what happened in the intermission? Did you sternly...
I'm getting to that.
Oh, come on.
Intermission.
Right.
So fiance turns to me and she goes, do you want a choc top? And I said, no, that's probably the bloke that we dealt with at the parking station that we parked in before we walked to the theatre.
Oh.
He wasn't too bright. They put him on Sunday duty, not thinking that he'd annoyed a lot of people. That's not the point. I slyly took a photo on my phone of them talking and made a Facebook post about it.
Saw that.
So I basically said censored, yes, but I will have to censor it here. Said, if these goddamn don't shut up during the rest of this musical, I'm a go postal. And that's a direct quote from my personal Facebook page.
Yes, it is.
I thought, do I say something? I thought, no, they're going to have the sense and sensibility to shut the up.
So did they?
Act 2 starts. Soon as Act 2 and the music starts and it's loud, they talk louder.
Did you shush them at any stage? Did you sternly look at them and shh?
I did.
And?
I did. So what I did is I turned my head to the right and all I did was this. Right in front of the mother, I just clicked my fingers right in front of her.
Right.
And raised my finger. I went like that.
Yep.
Now, I know that clicking at people and raising your finger is quite rude.
Yep.
But I just forked out over $300 for these 2 seats that we're sitting in, and you're going to keep talking. You're getting the click.
What about the usher? Was there an usher?
Yeah, the ushers are there, but look, seriously, I don't
think at the ushers, like gas on.
No, I didn't gas on them. So they stopped for 10 minutes.
Oh, that's nice of them.
And then they kept going. Again. So I'm like, right, when this show's over, I'm going to go down your throat in the sense of being, hey, that was rude.
Yep.
Not like I'm going to unzip and go down the throat, because that would have alarmed a lot of people in the theatre. Okay?
It's not that kind of theatre.
It's not that kind of theatre. It's not that kind of show, and it wasn't that place and time. Okay? But rest of the show kept talking. I'm like, this is bullshit. I should march over to box office and demand my money back because my experience was ruined. But then I thought to myself, that's a little too millennial. You know?
Okay.
You can get your money back these days for saying, look, I asked for a soy latte, you gave me full cream milk. I'm now going to be wincing over for at least half an hour, shitting out the remnants of your theatre coffee. Give me my money back, and they'll do it because they don't want litigation. Okay? So after the show was over and everyone's applauded and all that kind of thing, what I did is I turned to them and said, excuse me. Now, they speak another language, and they were speaking another language the whole way through. So don't think this is racial or anything like that. I said, excuse me, you talking through the whole show ruined it for me and my fiance. It's her birthday and you've ruined it. Now, I worked out that I said, I don't care if your daughter was in the cast. Wouldn't you come? When you sit down at the dinner table tonight, don't you think that you would say, we enjoyed every single part of it, and she's in a musical in a metropolitan city, and wouldn't you think that they would have enough, respect to sit there, shut the up and enjoy the show, then tell her over dinner what a great job she did. No.